guys, Joe here from XFoxGames. Check it out. This is going to be a quick install guide on how to install the Stubby kit onto your Nerf Knockout. Now, this is pretty straightforward. It should take probably about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on your skill level and if you've done one of these before. But this is pretty easy to do, so let's just get right to it. So I have somewhat of a Nerf Knockout here. Again, I kind of threw it all stock back together and just kind of put the stuff back on there I tear away. First things first, right? Just get a small, I don't know, a little rag or something to keep all of your bolts in, right? You have a lot of bolts on the outside that you want to remember, and do not lose any. So I'm just going to pop this open, right? Boom. So let's pop that open as if you guys did it. Now, oh, let me take this. Let's go like this. Now, what I tend to do is take all of the parts out, because a lot of these you're not going to need, like the barrel, the trigger, the front block, you're just not going to need. So a lot of these I will just take out. And typically if you guys buy, right, a whole a Knockout with the Stubby, I will give you all this because I don't need it. So usually it's inside the thing. So it doesn't really matter, guys, if you guys didn't catch where some of these parts came from, because I'm going to walk you through all of it on where to put it back, right? So we just take out everything here. Perfect, perfect. Throw those out, throw those out. Okay, so all the parts are out. Now, typically, what I'll do from here, oh, we got two more. Typically, what I'll do from here is then take off the these right here, right? And these are just held in by 2 screws on each side. Now, note how they go. You see how the holes are on this side, and it kind of angles down? So when you look at this one, it angles down. That little like piece right here angles down. Just note that, and then remember, look, see how it is? I sometimes put these on backwards, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So from here, you're going to want to trim, right? And you're going to want to take off this part off the bottom. Now, there's a lot of ways that you guys can do this. I tend to get a Dremel, and then I will Dremel along the line there and along the line there, right? You can leave a little bit of a lip there. That's fine. You could leave it right out of the gate. And then what I'll do is I'll take some, I think they call these like flat shear cutters. I'm not sure the name of these. Oh yeah, Model 170 shears. I mean, okay. And then you want to trim the rest. And that, for me, you know, is the easiest way to do it. And you're going to want to trim a little bit of an L. Hopefully you could see that right there. You could see it on that part that comes out. You just want to trim a little bit of an L. It almost goes all the way over. Then you'll notice there's a little piece there. So you just trim it out on both sides. And then I usually will get a file and just file that down so it is smooth, just like that. So again, don't Dremel too deep. Just Dremel far enough so you can snap this piece off, or snap both pieces off. You can see here. And then once it's snapped off, just do the rest of the trimming with these. Comes off real easy. These are night and day. And then just sand off all the rest. Now, when it comes to the grip handle, it's kind of the same thing. I don't Dremel anything. So you could see here, really what you want to do is you're going to notice that typically there's like a lip on top of this. There's a ledge. You want to cut that ledge off, but leave everything on underneath. Can you guys see that? Hopefully you guys can kind of see that. You want to leave everything on underneath. So there's actually a little bit of a lip on there. You can see it, and it kind of goes up. And all you want to do to know where this piece meets is just go down from the angle and up from the bottom angle and meet right in the middle. You can't go wrong. Maybe get a marker or something if you want to do it, but if you cut flush enough, you'll meet right in the middle. And then I always sand it a little bit, right? This part of cutting, I think, is the hardest out of everything. If you take your time, it shouldn't be too difficult to do. So perfect. So next is, once you take this out, is we want to put in the plug. So all I do is I'll usually get this, and I will cut out, there's 3 little notches on the air restrictor in there, and you just cut those out, pop it out. You look at this, you don't have to rip everything out of there. You see why I left that in there? I didn't notice any FPS increase or decrease when I took that the other inner piece out of there. So I just started leaving it in there, you know, just helping with the structural integrity of all this. I thought if I took it out, I would get an FPS increase, but to be honest, I never did. So I just snip that out, and then just make sure you snip off any little small pieces that may be in there. Now, you do not need this O-ring anymore, so you can usually just squeeze it and just pop it right off. Again, it's the O-ring on there. Okay, and from here is we want to go ahead and get your plug, which looks like this. And you'll notice there's a little notch on the top. You see that up there? And there's a little notch cut out on the top of this. And basically, you just line those up. Oh yeah, don't forget to put some Gorilla Glue in there, right? Some Gorilla Glue, because you don't want to just throw it in there. And you just line it up, and it should sit flush when it's done, something like that. And my Gorilla Glue takes like 15 minutes to really solidify. So you push it down, it should stay nice, flat, and parallel. So perfect. So that is ready to go. We're gonna act as if it's it is already dried. So perfect. Step 1 done. Now what you want to do is you want to get that little white piece with the spring. It looks something like that, right? And I just push it on, so this little, the nubby piece goes towards the bottom, so it goes right into that little cavity down there, just like that. So if you guys can kind of see that. Again, pause the video if you guys need to pause the video. Next thing you could do, there's not a certain step process you need to do here, but you can take the catch, which is that piece right here, and it goes in like this. Now note the orientation. You guys see that? Note the orientation. Sometimes you can put it in reverse, but it needs to go in like that. So you put it in like right into the 2 little holes of that, 2 little holes of those side things. Then of course you can throw in the trigger. Boom. You just kind of got to wedge it because it fits inside of that piece. Now if you want, you can put in your safety, or you can put in your kind of whole trigger mechanism here. Now again, look at the orientation. Small piece on top that just slides underneath, and then the top little hook, just kind of fish it into the hole. So again, small piece on the top, and then longer piece towards the bottom. So now we want to put in our actual catch, which is here. And sometimes it's hard to move that thing because so you just push it over so it goes in the hole of the catch. Boom. Okay. Now we can put in our safety. You don't again have to go in that order. There you go. Now this is the tricky part. So from here, you have this little like wedge piece, and notice again the orientation. You guys see that, how it goes? I will pull down with this finger. I will pull this down while holding this and holding the bottom. So watch. You see how I can move that with my bottom finger? And you want to slide that in between the little notch right here and that. So just push it back. And then you want to take this, and again, look at the orientation. The big part goes toward the bottom. That's going to go right down in front of it, then you can release. That is the hardest part of this whole thing, I think. Anyways, so perfect. Everything is ready to go. I mean, everything is ready to go. So from here, you just want to throw on your front. Just kind of snap it on, push it in. Okay, just double check. It should look good. I mean, that's not too difficult. And then this is the great part about the stubby, is the stubbies, I mean, well, first we're going to put on the spring, but some people always ask me, they're like, why would I get your stubby kit comparison to that kit, your standard kit? Well, one of the reasons why is you don't have to glue anything on this. This is plug in and it's ready to go. The other one you had to put on, you had to kind of line up, you had to super glue. It was kind of tricky, but this, you don't need to do it. It just goes right on and you're good to go. So I forgot about this. You got that rubber piece. There's a little notch. You can't, it only goes in one way. Perfect. And then what we'll do from here is, I don't know where my spring went. I thought I put it somewhere. But what you can do on the spring, you guys, that goes on the bottom right here, or it typically goes on this, is you can count about 3 or 4 rings down from the top. I know this is not it, but you can count 2 or 3 rings down from the top, bend it, and then clip it, and then go down about 3 rings and bend it, so it gives a little bit more of a pull, especially if you put this in and you're not getting the snap that you need, right? Because this is a little bit heavier than stock. So let's act as if we have the spring on there, right? So you put one of the spring sides here, the holes, and then the other one goes on that front little post right here. So perfect. And I mean, that's pretty much it, right? And so from here, you just put on your other side, button her back up, and you're ready to go. So I tend to just kind of clip it all together. Sometimes if the bottom doesn't clip all the way, sometimes if you pull this bottom piece right here a little bit, you hear that? It'll click, and then you'll notice it's flush. I will usually stick a bolt here first, a screw here first, and then 2 screws here first, and then you're like, okay, perfect. And so that's why I really like these stubby kits, because they're so easy to install. Then, I don't have to go over putting on the badges, but again, you guys can put on the badges yourself, super easy with super glue. And in the end, depending on which stubby front you get, I mean, we currently, or depending on when you watch this video, we could have this regular one that just has nothing on the front right there. It's just kind of blank. We have one that is kind of like we're doing here, kind of this blocky with this XFKO style. And then we kind of got this one, which is kind of the front, but with a little more jazz on it, right? So that's why I really like the Stubbies, is because I can do so much more with the suppressors. And again, building these things is an absolute breeze, because now there's a lot of stuff that we don't need to do when we used to do it this way. Again, this is really only so you could change tips, and maybe you could see in here. I mean, but you still get 3 darts in this, and you can get about 4 in this, but reality 3 is optimal. But again, the biggest thing here was you're able to switch the tips to a different tip really easy. This is just all built into one, which I don't think looks bad, right? I think it actually looks pretty good. So there you go. I mean, that's the installation kit, or the installation guide for the Knockout. Again, I mean, just let me know if you guys have any questions. Leave it in the comments. I know a lot of you guys are asking for this, and we should have this up, if not now, on our Etsy site if you guys want to grab one of these kits. And again, check out all the different colors. We do more than just pink. I just did pink first because, again, we were building the for a lot of you guys who watched, we were building the these candy blasters with this. Anyways, thanks again, Fox fans. Hope this helps any of you guys out there. Thanks again.